All right, today we are going to make a phone using the freeform tool. So start out by clicking box. We are going to do a sketch on this surface. So we will come in here and do our parameters. The length is going to actually be our width left to right. Our width is going to be the height. And then our height is actually the thickness. So we'll go 3 on the length, 6 on the width, and 0.375 on the height. Okay, then I'm going to click the center point. Before I do that, I want to go both directions. It'll allow us to keep everything centered. And you can see that we have basic shape like that. Now you can see that it doesn't quite look like a phone. It doesn't quite have the shape of a phone, but it is close. So we need to modify or fine tune this just a little bit. So we'll go up here to subdivide, and we're going to subdivide that section into 2 faces, both width and length, and then click OK. Then we can right click, repeat subdivide, do that same thing there, repeat subdivide again, right click OK, and we're going to do it to that last section there. Click OK. Okay, so once we have that, looks pretty good. We'll click finish freeform. Now on this surface, this is our screen, so we want that extruded into the 3D shape itself. So in order to do that, we have to create a plane on this surface. Sometimes some shapes will allow you to just click plane, and you can do this, and you have a plane there. But this does not allow us to create a plane on that surface because it is a freeform shape. So what we'll do here is we'll go over here to our original planes, and I'm going to right click and check visibility. Now this plane is the one that is directly in the middle of our object there. Okay, I'll click my home button to get it back. Now we're going to create a plane that is offset from this plane, and depending on whether you go positive or negative, it will put it on the front side of the phone or the back side of the phone. So we're going to go half the distance, and our thickness was 0.375, which is 3/8, so half of that is 0.1875. And you'll notice that it put that plane on the front surface of our object. Now, since we're here, we're going to go ahead and do another one for the back surface, which we'll use here in just a little bit. So I'm going to click that middle one, and then this time we're going to go negative 0.1875. I will then turn off the visibility for the middle one because I don't need to see that because we're not working with that. Now we are going to do a sketch on the front here. So I'll go to Start 2D Sketch on that surface. And I already have geometry here based on my freeform. So we're actually going to use that to our advantage and not have to draw that. But what we're going to do with this is project our geometry. So I will project that line, that line, that line, and that line. Then we'll click OK. Then we're going to extrude that surface. Notice how it picks it up automatically. If it doesn't, then something's wrong with what you did. We are going to select cut. So we're going to cut, and we're going to cut back into that 0.03. So now you can see the area that we have is basically where our screen would be. If your work plane is in the way or you're done with it, you can right click and uncheck that visibility. Okay, now on the back surface, we are going to draw the cameras. We're going to draw 3 cameras on this. So we're going to start a sketch on this surface, and then we are going to draw all 3 of the cameras. And I'll show you how to modify this as we go. Okay, so there are my 3 cameras. I also want to offset them. So I'm going to offset that, and I'm going to go 0.03 on the offset on each one of those. And you'll see where we'll use that here in just a minute. All right, so we have all 3 of our cameras set up. Now we're going to click OK. And we'll go get an isometric so we can see a little better with what we're doing. All right, so we're going to extrude cut these 3 camera surfaces into, so make sure you go in the correct direction, into our phone, okay? And we're going to go a distance of 0.03. So you can see that it does that. It's all good. Now I need to come in here and I'm going to right click. So under extrusion here, I'm going to expand this on my model tree, and I'm going to right click and show that same sketch because I'm not quite done with it. So with this, I want to sketch that ring, and that ring, and I'm going to extrude them both directions, but I'm going to go asymmetric. So I'm going to go a distance in towards the phone and a distance out towards space. So you can change these settings and it may look or end up something like this. Then when I'm done, I want to make sure I take that sketch and make it not visible. Uncheck visibility on that. And you can see that we have our phone. Okay, click on my home feature. So that's all good. So now I can come in here and I want to actually take a screenshot and put a screenshot of a phone. I happen to just have an iPhone, one that's already set up. So I go to Chrome here and you can see that I already have this. You can right click and save this image as a JPEG, or you can use the snipping tool and you can come in here and we're going to make sure everything's included in the screen. And you can save that. So if we go back to here, we can save this as a JPEG and come in and use it. So I've already done that. So I'll just go back to Inventor, but we are going to put that on that surface. So we have to do a sketch on that surface. Then we'll go to image. Then I have to find my screenshot, and then I will place my screenshot. Now notice that my screen is a little bit bigger than what my model is. So I can basically take this on the side and I can scale it accordingly and then reshape and remove it so that it fits better. It's not going to be perfect. The objective of this is just to kind of get familiar with the software and the freeform tool. So we're going to make it as close as we can get it. Okay. So you can see that looks pretty good. Now we're going to give our phone some color. So we'll go over here to Tools. We're going to go to Appearance. And then you can select from a number of different materials and colors. We're going to do anodized black here. So I'm going to hit this up arrow. And then I would just basically select that surface and notice how it changes it. If I hold the Shift key, I can select multiple surfaces and change them at one time. We also want to make sure that we're not forgetting these little pieces here. With this one, this is our screen area, so I'm actually going to select some sort of blue and make that blue. And you notice how it kind of has that screen look to it, has my detail of my image there. But if you look really closely, you'll see a little bit of gray. You want to come in here and change those areas to make them have a better transition of color. All right, so you'll modify all of that, including the back. With the camera here, I'll come in here and select each one of these camera lenses, and we're going to make those blue. Then on the lens, or not the lens, but this outer ring here, I'll select all of these, and I'm going to make them all the same. So let's go look and see. You can see it's kind of changing. Find something you like, maybe add some contrast to it. That's pretty cool there. Let's go with that, see what that looks like. You can always change this later. So you can kind of play around with these settings and want to make that the same. Maybe they're not all the same. I'll leave that up to you as far as how you texture it. Okay, so we have this one here. Maybe I want it red. Not sure that I want it red, but I'm just going to show you red. And so now we have our completed 3D phone.